So my name and role in Thriving Survivors is my name is Emily, and my surname is Kay, and my role in Thriving Survivors is as group facilitator. However, I do mentoring as well. So I've been on a quite a turbulent recovery journey. I'd gone through lots of different counselling and things, and then I broke my foot and had to go and stay at home for 3 months back in Norwich. And I knew that I still wasn't right, so I ended up in group therapy down there. So when I came back up, I ended up sacked because I'd had too much time off, and it was the job centre that put me onto Thriving Survivors because I was honest with my work coach and told them my history, and they said I think this would be really good for you, and you could potentially end up with a full-time employment out of this. So that was the path that I took. Okay, so I have taken over delivering the Discovering Me program, which is our post-traumatic growth program, and it's amazing. It's full of tools that anybody can use them. It's not like one size fits all. So the tools are there, and I will share them from my perspective. But because it's group work, the value I think with the group work is that other people can say, "Oh, I might try doing it like this," or I do this to help me through, and that piece of mindfulness I use my PlayStation to get away and escape, and so yeah, there's a wide variety of things that people can use, and I think people when they come into recovery don't realize just what's on offer. They tend to think it's you go and you see a therapist or a counsellor, as I did, and if you don't get well within the 6 weeks, there's something wrong with you. And I think that this really changes that stigma. Yeah, you're not alone. There's always going to be somebody out there that feels just as lost as you. If something isn't working for you, there's lots of other avenues of recovery. Don't feel as I did. I felt like an idiot, I have to say, that I'd had so much counselling, so much CBT, and I still wasn't well. I was still using shopping, drinking, everything, and I was faking it because I just assumed I have to, I'm being told that I should be well by now, so I'm well, and that obviously wasn't the case. The best way I can describe recovery for me is I watched Hitch the other week for the first time. For anybody watching that hasn't seen it, Will Smith is a guy who sets people up with their one and only true love, and coaches them into how to make it a successful date and therefore time with their prospective partner. And he gets called a fraud, and one of the guys that he set up with the love of his life they end up splitting up because she thinks that he's a fraud and he's been coached. Will Smith then goes to fix it, and she says, "Did you really have to tell him all that? I mean, how much did you study me and make him dance like that and stuff?" And he was like, "Hold on, this has that guy all over it. That actually worked." And she said, "So that was all him?" And he says, "Yes." And she said, "What did you actually do?" And he said, "Nothing." And then at the end, he says, the rule is that, and principles is that there is no principles. And I kind of, that resonated with me because I feel like that's kind of my job. I can provide the space and I can deliver the tools, but ultimately it's up to people to be themselves and use them as they want to. I'm not there to tell them how to use them. And it's a beautiful thing to watch people love and nurture themselves.